Okay, then let's start. So as a quick recap, yesterday what we have started and where we are right now. So basically we started with our Spring. Initially we discussed some of the Spring and Java concept, and then we start digging about this keyword, like why we are using it. Then without exposing the Spring Boot part, we started exploring the use of like how we can further optimize the code. So we saw over there like how it is calling, how it is consuming. Then we saw how Spring Boot, what is the use of the Spring actually. So basically what is memory context, application context, how it is working. So application context is the memory of the Spring, correct? So those things yesterday we started to watch that, and I hope so it is clear. And a quick recap is what we have done. So inside this Spring Boot demo application, so you can see here, first we started with we created this Spring container, like application context equals to new annotation application context. Then what we have done, like please ask Spring greeting service if it is new or not. Okay. Then for the bean, what we have done, we call this greeting service. So if I quickly open this greeting service, so we have this private final method message, and we are using this constructor like for the greeting service, and we are just invoking this message. And another method we have, that is get greeting. So there we are saying that hello from, or hello from whatever the thing, and plus message. Okay. Then if we quickly go to this part, and we are trying to print this. So yesterday we saw like after printing what we are getting it. Okay, let's see again. Yeah. So right now class not demo application. Okay, I'll just sort it out. Don't worry. It is, I think, running. That's why I'm getting error. 1 second. Yeah. Let me close this and hit it again. Some more folks are waiting. Let me allow them to join this class as well. Okay, what is the issue now? Could not find load main class daughter Spring Boot demo application caused by class not found exception. Okay, I'm getting now the class not found exception. Okay, it's fine. 1 second. Now let me give a reload. Okay, yeah, let me try it again in order to run this. And we have some more concept. Quickly we'll try to cover the Spring concept, and we will move towards in this class over the Spring Boot and Groq. And we'll try to create one full-fledged project. It will be a starting point of this bootcamp. So today we'll try to cover the project as well. That is 100%. 1 second, let me try this again. Spring Boot run test is not the right. So okay, I don't know what's the issue. Let me try again. Okay. Meanwhile, it is doing. So what we have done quickly, if the Spring Boot, then in the demo 2, we have the constructor injection. So this notification service again we have created. We are trying to get the B from this notification service, and we are printing this notification dependency injection and whatever we want to notify the student. Okay. So that was yesterday. We have done like securely done how to create our Spring application, a basic, with the help of dependency injection as well. So there the notification server needs something to send message. So that's why instead of new, we declare it in the constructor. So Spring sees the constructor, it will find the email message, and then our work is done. Okay, you don't need to write a new and all in order to get it. Okay, right now we are at this stage. Okay, then the today's topic will be the topic 6. Okay, I'll quickly go there. Yeah. So the topic 6 will be here. Very good again. Auto-wired, qualifier, and primary. Can anyone please confirm what is auto-wire, qualifier, and primary? Anyone? Do you have any idea? Yeah, yeah, guys. Do you have any idea about the auto-wire? Anyone?
Uh, yes, sir. Actually, these three used to like inject dependencies. So automate basically inject one dependency to another class, and qualifier is when there is multiple type of dependencies.
Hmm.
Then qualifier helps to like with qualifier we can specify the particular bean name so that that particular bean can be injected. It reduce the confusion. And primary is also when there is multiple beans with same time, then primary
Hmm.
marks a bean as like that should be created, which is marked with primary only.
Exactly. So without wasting much time, auto-wired, right? So when two classes implement message sender, Spring will assume like two classes are there, class A and class B. If this both class wants to implement a message sender, assume implements a message sender, okay? Then what will happen? Spring will get confused, like from where I need to create it and from where I need to create it. That's why in order to sort it out, we make it as a primary. So at the rate primary will be your default choice, equals to your default choice. Okay, that's the first thing. If you write the qualifier, so if you write this qualifier, means it will start picking up by name, picking by its name. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you what we can do over this. Okay, let me try to run this, and then I'll explain you with the code as well. Do not worry. Expecting it. Yeah, so I think there was some issue. Pomodoro try running. Okay, that's fine. I think it's done. It's working now. So I'll go to the sender and I have this email message sender. Okay. Then what will happen? We'll try to add this now. We have this component. Okay. We'll try to add the primary at the rate primary. Okay. And everything is fine. Public class email sender implements message sender and sending email to. Okay. Now this is fine. We have this. But okay. So if, yeah, 1 second. Hmm. Now, if we try to run this app, assume if I try to run this app again, only one change we did. So what are we getting? Do a reset. Let me try it again. I just added the at the rate primary annotation, okay, and nothing else. Okay, right now there is nothing changes. As you can see, we have just added at the rate primary annotation, but we need to do it, right? If I add here, assume like if I comment this code and if I write like this, at the rate component, at the rate primary, component at the rate primary, and then we'll start assume with the classes like public email sender, right? So what we can do, let it be like this. Can you guys create and give me one thing at the rate I need now? The as just tell me if you can't able to do it, I'll do it. Like SMS sender or SMS message message sender. I need this. Okay, because what are we doing right now? When two classes implement, so right now we have only one class is email message sender. So if I want to implement this message sender, again I'm repeating, if I want to implement this message sender, and there are two classes. Okay, the first class is email message sender that we have it. Okay, how we can create another classes here? So if I go new file and if I write SMS MESSAG message sender dot java, okay, then what I will do, I will say public class message implements. What it will implement, quickly tell me. It will implement the message sender. Okay, message sender. Now this is override send. Assume like we will try to create a send message. Yeah, string to string message, sending SMS to with message like this. Okay, then what will happen? Anyone? Now will I get error? Yes or no? So if I go again, if I try to run this class, then what will happen? Let me quickly go to our main class, run this. Okay, still I'm not getting any error. Okay, so what will happen? Say if both email and SMS exist without at the primary, Spring throws error, but still it is not throwing the error. Can you please tell me why? Can you please confirm why? Have I missed anything? Guys, are you getting it, the concept?
So actually, you have added the primary annotation already, so
Hmm.
maybe that's why it is not sending like throwing any error. If we
Okay, if I
remove,
assume, if I remove this, then if I try
then
to run it,
yeah,
still it is not giving error, right? But we need to throw the error, right? So what is the reason why it is not throwing error? It is my question. Okay, so here we have used the component, right? One second. So here we have used the component. Okay, you will say that let's try to do the same. Please, sir, try to write this at the rate component annotation. So I'm not directly teaching you everything. I mean, like from A to Z, I'm showing you how you can encounter error once you start building the application. Okay, so SMS sender. Okay, and let's try again. Give a reset over there. Go to your Spring Boot demo application and gives a thumbs up. Config.yml is not required. Message sender is not required. Okay. Right now you could see we are getting an exception. Why? Because component, right? Yesterday we had a discussion. We had a good discussion over the component part, right? What is happening? If we try to run this application, then it should go to this application, right? I mean, this call. Then we have this notify user greeting service and notification service. So if I go to the notification service, we are using this private message sender. Okay, this message sender is confused to which call. I mean, this message sender will go to email, either email message or SMS message. So that's why it is going. We are going to get an exception. No unique bean definition exception means there is no qualifying bean of type SMS sender available. Expect single matching bean, but found two. This is the reason you all are getting error if we have implement the multiple interfaces. Is this clear, guys? Till now it is clear, yes or no? Why are we getting error? Is it clear in the Spring application? Shall I repeat again? Is it clear? Please, I need confirmation.
yeah. So I don't understand like why
Hmm.
first time we were not getting error and then now
Okay,
getting.
okay. So see, if I close every file, okay, do not get confused. Let me close every file. Okay, I will just open the main file. Okay. After open this main file, we have just check this. What are we doing? We are doing the constructor injection over the notification service. Please open notification service. Inside notification service, this is the service class. Okay, Spring knows this is a service class. We are mentioning private final message sender, and inside this wrap it up by using your constructor. This dot message sender equals to message sender, and inside the notify user you need to use this message sender dot send. Till now is it clear? Okay, if I draw this, so we have this spring boot main application. Okay, main application. Okay, inside this I have a method that is your notification service. Notification service. Okay, this notification service is calling our message sender. Okay, message sender ki, hey, this is you are my message sender, do whatever the things you have. Right now this message sender is using by this message sender is using by two part, correct? The name is your SMS and email. So SMS and email. So once my Spring Boot application calls this notification service calls this message sender, then message sender is confused, hey, where I should go, either to email or either to SMS. Are you getting it? Right now, are you getting it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So what is happening right now? So then it's saying that I am unable to find which bean I need to create. I am now cooked. So right now for cooked, you are getting no unique bean definition exception. So in the interviewer might be they will call like if you have the multiple objects or it is implementing it, in order to avoid or what error you will get, so you will say I will get no unique bean definition exception because my spring is confused to what to create or which object to which class it should go and it should create it. That's why if both email and SMS exist, without the annotations, Spring will throw error. Okay. So if I need to resolve this, I will quickly go to email and I will uncomment this. Okay. And I will say, okay, if you find the multiple object and you see the hierarchy, then this is my primary. So please go there and try to invoke it. So if I try to run this, now I'm expecting I'm not going to get any errors. See, sending email to student at the rate codecadles.in with message welcome to week one. That is the use of at the rate primary. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? So now tell me how we can implement at the rate qualifier. Like we get to know about the primary. Primary means in order to resolve primary annotation, what why we use in order to resolve no unique bean definition exception. Okay, what is the use of qualifier at that case? Qualifier. Can anyone tell me now? What is qualifier?
So qualifier, we need to use this with auto-variant only. Like we cannot use it directly with any particular component or bean class.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now if I ask in this code which we have written, if I want to use qualifier, then how I will write the qualifier? So here, if I show you this getting service, this SMS sender, here I have used this component name by name, SMS message finder and email finder. You can also write it down. So I will give you homework right now. Okay, the homework will be like I'll give you. Do not worry. You need to call this by using qualifier, not with the at the rate primary. Okay, this will be your homework. I'm not going to demonstrate as of now. This will be your homework. Okay, I will give you a PDF. You need to complete it. Fine. Then let's go next to the next topic. The next topic is all about the at the rate configuration. I'm very much done with this back slide. Second, yeah. At the rate configuration. I think yesterday we have seen it. At the rate configuration. Can anyone tell me quickly what is at the rate configuration annotation? If someone will ask inside the interview.
At the rate configuration, I think is a class where we implement beans or create
It is a
beans.
class. Configuration is a class.
Configuration, not a class. We use this annotation in a class
Mhm.
where we declare beans.
Okay, 100% sure. What about
Mm,
others?
So this is the class level annotation, and we use it for the configuration classes. Like uh, basically, we use it to like in the class where we are using configuration, we need to use component scan also, so that we can scan like the whole package to check for the beans or components.
So yeah, are you sure, like with configuration, do we need to always use component scan? I mean, any interviewer can do a cross question over that, right? So anyone? So I'll tell you, okay? Yes, the explanation is correct. Both explanation is correct. Configuration is a string annotation, repeating again, that tells Spring this class contain bean definitions. This class contain bean definition that Spring should manage. That contains bean definition that Spring gonna manages. That's the first thing. Always remember for this configuration inside your Spring. Okay. Second thing is, think of it as a Java based configuration file. Without at the rate configuration, we need to use like class app config, then email service, return new email service. With configuration, we can just simply call at the rate bean, and we will just return public email service and return new email service. Simple. So now the new Spring will see this email service as a at the rate bean. So it's gonna inject whenever it is required. What does at the rate bean do? Basically, Spring, please put this object into the container. So this will be inside your DI container, this email service. Okay, inside the Spring. Then dependency injection, why we use at the rate configuration if we already have component. Okay, so again the most important concept, like why we use at the rate configuration. Okay, if we already have at the rate component, can anyone explain now? This is the depth question of the Spring. Okay, I won't take much time, 15 minutes. I will start this with the Spring Boot, but these are very important concepts which I'm just trying to highlight over there. So I'll quickly again tell you why use. Most of the time in the Spring Boot, we use at the rate service. Okay, at the rate component, at the rate repository. In the Spring Boot, we usually write this, and Spring creates bin automatically. But sometimes we cannot modify a class. For example, if we have any class like that is coming from the third party. Okay, so there is a class that is coming from the third party, and this is inside a jar file which we can't make changes. So what will happen? So we create a configuration class. Okay, for this one. So now Spring is gonna manage it. That's why we need at the rate configuration. Is it clear? Now is it clear, everyone? 100%? Can we thumbs up anything? Okay, perfect. Then with configuration annotation, we need to mandatory use component scan? No, not at all. At the rate component scan is not mandatory when using at the rate configuration, because case one, only configuration plus bean. This works perfectly without our component scan. If we are using at the rate component, at the rate service, at the rate repository, then we can use if we have multiple things, then we can use at the rate component scan. Then Spring, we are just telling Spring, hey, we have the multiple sources where you need to go scan. If there is anything you find, please put it inside your dependency injection. Okay, clear? I'm assuming it is clear. I won't waste much time on that. So what we have done till now, configuration being explained, what we have done already. Okay, then again, if I want to write this for this first project, what we have created at the rate bean, and it is coming from your greeting service in the Java file that is inside your app config. Okay, app config. That's the first thing we have done inside the project. Second thing, we are using at the rate component for this email message sender. Email message sender. At the rate, we are using service class if we have the multiple service. So just like we have this notification service, so we are using this at the rate service. So basically, this app config, whatever the app config we have, it has two things: at the rate bean, okay, for this greeting service, and at the rate component scan for, and that's gonna finds at the rate component at the rate service. Simple. I'm just, please, I'm whatever the bootcamp thing I'm telling you, have keep that in your mind. You don't need to watch recording again. That's why I'm repeating again and again, so that you should be clear with everything. Okay. So both at the rate bean and at the rate component end up as beans in the same container. Both bean and component end up as beans. Okay, inside where? Inside your same container. Your bean at the rate bean and at the rate component. Okay, both will end up in the same container. Okay, and this is the app config. You can compare in your project as well. They are doing the same thing. Okay, now it's time to move on and try to create something inside our application. Okay, so we have this log file. Logs are also one of the important concept. Okay, so I will go there. I will quickly try to create a folder, and this folder will be our scope. We'll just see the scope. Okay, inside scope we can have this new file request logger.java. So this request logger.java is also one of the important file, and we are just trying to consume it again. So I will write component, okay, and my scope. So we have two scopes, right? Scope is now will be prototype. So can anyone quickly tell me what is a scope? What is a scope? Anyone who knows about it?
Yeah, so actually, when we are creating bean, then scope defines like how many times the beans will be created. If it is prototype, then whenever user will request, that time a new bean will be created, and default is like I forgot
Singleton?
it. Yeah, singleton. Yeah.
Exactly. So guys, I have written this at the rate prototype. Now you are assuming, sir, why you have written the prototype? So if so, prototype is basically, if I before that, just have a look on the singleton. It's very easy concept, but interviewer will might ask about the singleton. Okay, so in Spring, how many object of this bean should be created? Simple. Scope is gonna tell scope. I have written scope, so this scope is gonna tell how many objects of this bean. So this bean is coming from this configuration that we have written. Okay, or component that we have written. Okay, so should be created. So for the singleton, if I write like this, @service, then public class email service, and I close it. Okay, so what will happen by default? Our Spring container, if I quickly draw this is a Spring container. This is my Spring container. Okay, this is my Spring container. It is gonna see the Spring container will create what? It will just create a one thing. What is the one? Email service object. Okay, email service object. Okay, so whenever anyone asks for email service, Spring will always give the same object. Okay, because by default we don't need to mention it anywhere. Okay, but in the prototype, if I write like at the rate component, okay, at the component at the rate scope, and here if I write prototype, and then if I write public class email service, okay, and just close it, then what will happen? Spring will create a new object every time. Okay, every time. So it will like this: email service even equals to context dot get bean of my email service dot class. Same thing, es email to equals to context dot get bean from this class. So what will happen if you will say, if you will try to print like if even equals to e2, you will get false. I'll show you and demo as well, or you can also do it. So what I am doing, I have just created a scope prototype, public class email service, nothing you need to do. You just say even context.getBean inside this will be inside your app.java or main.java file. If you try to compare even and it will give you false because Spring creates the two things. So what is happening if inside this the request one is coming, request assume this is one, so it is like email service object A, this is request that is two, then this is email service object B. It's not the same object. Okay, that's why. And if you try to memorize this, so it's a very good summary. So I'll write here this, paste, go here, and you can compare it. Okay, the comparison is like this. Mhm. This is my singleton. Okay, this is my singleton, and this is my prototype. Okay, so singleton, what we'll do, if we have the user service, we have the user service, if we have the admin service, if we have the order service. Okay, order service. So I need a single thing for a single user. So what it will do, it will go here, it will go here, and it will give my email service, okay, for a single user. And if we are using the prototype, so prototype is if we have the user service, it will create email service A. If we have the admin service, we create admin service, sorry, email service B. If we have the order service, it will create email service C. So everything have their same different object in the prototype. Is it clear now? 100% clear. Can you able to tell this inside the interviewer? No, yes, anything? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What about another folks? Okay. Guys, if you have doubt, please, I want you guys to just ask me question again and again. Okay. Then only you will get to know the real interview gig. Okay. So I'll just quickly write like this, private, final, final UUID. I'll tell you about this. Equals to UUID dot, we can give random ID. So what is this UUID? So a class that represent immutable universally unique identifier. A UUID represent 128-bit value. There exist different variants of this global identifier. The method of this class are for manipulating and lead self variant, although the constructor allow the creation of any variant. Okay, the most significantly like time low, time mid if you want to predict. So this UUID is sufficient enough to got it. So if I press like random, so it's gonna create a random universal UUID. Okay. So for this one, what I need to do, public UUID, get ID, and it's gonna return the ID. It's fine. Now inside our main application, what we need to do, we will do something like this, and we will print something. Okay, here I'll go down. I'll put tab, and I'll say demo 3, that is prototype scope, and I'll say request logger 1. I'll try to import this. So request logger 1 equals to context.getBean. Then I'll copy this. I'll go down. Yeah. Then request logger 1, request logger 2. Okay. Then I'll print. Yeah. Then I'll print same thing. System.out.print request logger prototype scope. Then system.out logger 1 ID, logger 1.get ID, logger 2.get ID, and then if I want to print anything, yep, once again I'll print again one thing. Same, are they same instance question mark plus, exactly, I think it is completing my code. So logger 1 equals to logger 2. So let's try to print it and see. Okay, so you can see the result as well. We have the notification, so that's fine. Request logger, yes. So it has created some UUID like this. Then the logger ID 2 has this, and it is same instance? No, it is not same. Only one time we have declared over here, okay, without the using of new, and you are getting like they are not same. Okay, till now is it clear? So 99% beans are singleton. Prototype is interview trivia plus special cases. Once we deep dive into the profiling for next week classes, then I'll tell you the real use of singleton, prototype, application, session. We have multiple scopes. Okay, so but two are very common interview trivia thing. Is it clear, guys? Everyone? Can I tell like spring is now you are getting it? The spring is clear for you. Please confirm if you have any doubt. Shall we go ahead for Spring Boot? Do you want 5 minutes break? Anything, please? Because there are 10 folks, 11 folks are joined. Or shall I continue now? Okay, fine. So I'll continue for 20 minutes, then we can have 5 minutes break and then we can resume again. So this class is all about Spring Boot, and we can see one employee management system. For the homework of the Spring is you need to add at the rate qualifier, and that is by that you will do. And if possible, next week we will try to discuss it. Apart from that, yesterday I told you for the Groq cloud. So what I did, I already created a new API key that we are going to use. So as of now, you can see auto completion is done. So the logic I'm trying to written, but now what is happening? It is going to help me to complete it. Okay. So you can also do the same thing. You don't need to write system.out.println inside the process system.out.println. This is the main thing you need to add your architecture brain over the code. Okay. So the today's topic is what is Spring Boot versus plain Spring. So I'll quickly write it down. So you will be also with the same pace. So the first we will try to see our Spring Boot versus normal plain Spring. Then second we will see how we can create Spring initializer project and project structure. The third, we will see our application.yml and configuration of your Groq, okay, plus API. And we have different Spring Boot thing that we will try to see, okay. So the session goal will be Spring Boot project running, employee plus department entities, which H2 database we are trying to use. So right now for this project, this will be our project, and inside this, what are we planning to do is we will first try to create our employee, then employee department entities. We are using H2 database for our operation, and we will try to connect with our chat client. Okay, we'll try to create our chat client, and this Groq is gonna help us in doing the operation. We will try to connect, and first prompt template. We will see whether prompt template is working or not. Am I clear, guys? Are you excited? No? Okay, perfect. So what we have done, okay. So what we have done, if I literally start, so yesterday again a basic is quick fire questions is like what is IOC? We know Spring controls the object creation. We called it IOC. What is dependency injection? Spring inject dependency into your classes. Preferred injection style will be your constructor injection. What is being object managed by Spring Container? What does add the rate service mean? Business logic layer bean. Default bean scope is your singleton. So Spring Boot equals to, if I need to write like, so Spring Boot equals to Spring core, whatever the Spring core plus your auto configuration plus embedded server plus opinionated defaults. So you can see this is the beauty of Spring Boot. We have the Spring core. After that, we will have this auto config, embedded server, opinionated defaults, and your Spring core that we are gonna see it today. Okay, so the second topic is saying that why like the second topic says that Spring Boot. Yes, Spring Boot versus plain Spring. Okay, so right now what we have seen, if I'll try to build a line over here quickly. So the scene was in the manual. Okay, in the manual, application context was there. Yes or no? Anyone? Are you supporting this? But inside the Spring Boot, it will auto create it. That's the first thing we will try to see, auto created by Spring Boot. Second thing that we will notice is we need to write a lot XML/Java config file again and again at the rate configuration at the rate. Then we need to create app config. Everything that is very manual task right now in 2026, 2027. I'm not at all interested. So what I will do, I will create one application.yml or XML file, and we will add some sensible default over here, so I don't need to go again and again. I will try to do it. Third thing is we need to deploy war. Every time I'm telling you, for any organization who are using Spring currently with JSPX or something, they need to deploy war, okay, to your external Tomcat in order to serve it to external Tomcat. That is very important concept. I will next class. I will take a 30-minute session over your embedded server. Then what is servlet server? What is embedded servers? Can anyone tell me? Meanwhile, what is embedded server? What is servlet server? Have you heard this term, or are you hearing it first time? Servlet server first, and second thing is embedded server. Embedded server. So everything which we started in my class, you will get to know the logic of every word which I am telling you. Quickly tell me what is servlet server and embedded server.
So embedded servers like Tomcat or JT kind of things, which is inbuilt present in the Spring Boot. And servlet is basically the technology where we have the components that.
Okay. Okay. What about others? Ankit, Tirupati, Shubham, Malikarjun.
I mean, so for the servlet server, we need to deploy the application whenever we start a server.
Mhm.
But for the embedded one, whenever we start the application, server starts automatically. That is one thing.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we don't
Fine.
need to worry about server start and all. Yeah.
Perfect. So before going with servlet or something, okay, someone will ask what is server. So what you will say? If someone says what is server, then what is the definition of server? What is the definition of server? Simple, right? A server that listens. What it listens? For request. From whom? From clients. Yes or no? Are you supporting this? Are you supporting my statement? So if I have the browser, this browser, what it does? It will go via using get API. If I say get request /hello, it goes to our server. Server says okay. Now I'm gonna give you a response. The response will be hello. Okay. Are you getting it? This is exactly what server do. Yes or no,
Yes.
guys?
Right.
uh, Is my class boring? I mean, I need a feedback as well. Like, are you getting it? Whatever I'm just trying to explain.
Yes,
Yes,
we are
sir.
getting it.
Okay. Okay, it's fine. Then if I go quickly to this servlet. Okay, servlet is basically a servlet. Again, repeating, servlet is a it is a Java, Java, Java class. It is servlet is a Java class that handles what it handles HTTP request. Always remember, they might ask you in your interview. Okay, this server, this servlet. It's the Java class that handles our HTTP request. Okay, if because in Java what we usually write is like this. The syntax, if we wanna write, I'll tell you the syntax as well. This keyboard and this text. Okay, let me write this. Public public class hello servlet extends your HTTP servlet. Then if I try to write again, we will write protected. We can simply consume the inbuilt method to get what you want to get. HTTP HTTP servlet request req, then HTTP servlet. Let me give this to small. Yeah, request servlet response rep. After doing this, guys, what will happen? I'm so sorry, it was my mistake. Yeah, after doing that, I'll put a curly braces inside this. I'll simple write this thing resp response whatever I have rep dot get writer dot println simple. So this is the exactly the things that we do when we are writing the things. Okay, this is our servlet code. As you can see over here, it is one of the important concepts. So when a browser will send slash hello, okay, we the servlet will process it and we are gonna do it. Okay, I wrote this slash hello and this is my command hello servlet. Now the actual problem again for this is who runs this servlet? Who runs the servlet? Anyone? Servlet. Anyone? Who run this servlet? So for that, a servlet cannot run itself. That's why we need a servlet container. Servlet container. Everything is related towards container. Servlet container or servlet server. Servlet container or servlet server, such as your Apache Tomcat, then your Jetty. I think you have heard about it, and Undertow. Okay, so what is happening? Just think about it. This, like my servlet, the servlet equals to employee. I am the employee, so I am a servlet. Okay, employee. Tomcat. Tomcat equals to office building. Simple. So inside the office building, I'm trying to run myself. You're doing this. We are gonna. So this is our servlet, and this is the server. Clear, guys? Still have doubt, or is it clear? Clear? Oh,
Yes,
hmm.
I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So in case of Java, like
Hmm.
let's say I have a web application where I need to deploy it somewhere. Okay,
Okay.
and for Java we need to use servlet or
Hmm.
Apache Jetty, which supports only the Java application.
Hmm.
Okay, and let's say my application is built on some another language like Node.js or
Hmm.
Python. So in that
Okay.
case, where I will deploy my application, does Apache Tomcat Jetty Undertow can deploy the or supports Python Node.js kind of application, or do we need to use some other application uh, servers?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Great question. So what will happen in this case? Apache Tomcat is specifically for the Java application. That is the first thing. Okay, like servlets, JSP, Spring MVC, Spring Boot, war files. So if your app is written in this Node.js, you do not deploy it to Tomcat. Okay. So Java application. So if I'll just draw a quick picture over here, I'll change this to this. So if I have this Java, okay, Java application, it goes to the Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat. So if I have the Spring MVC app, assume we have this Spring MVC, it will convert to app.jar file. This app.jar will consume by our Apache Tomcat. This is the first thing. Node.js app. Okay, if I'll tell another application, assume Node.js. So how Node.js works? It's a backend application. So Node.js app has Node runtime. Okay, Node runtime in this part. So if assume we have this express.js application, it will call this node server.js. So this node server.js itself act as the application server. So this is my application server. Okay. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So it behaves like that. And second thing, if I want a typical Node.js deployment, okay, guys, just 1 minute. For your extra information, I'm just giving you because I used to be a developer on Node.js as well. So typically, Node.js deployment, how it does. Okay, first thing is internet. Okay, we have the internet. It will call the nginx. This is very important concept. Nginx. Literally, if we deploy any front-end application like Vue.js or any React application, this nginx is the real pain. Like why? If you want to integrate your front end with your backend, then nginx gonna hit to your backend. And you know this nginx has some session ID. Okay, and if this session ID got expired and we have this ELB, Elastic Load Balancer, deployed on the AWS, then you need to be very much cautious, because if your pod get restarted, this nginx is not gonna identify whether the backend pod is up. So for the front end, even though it is up, the backend was initially up, then down, then again up, it will hit 5 to 10 times and it will mark your backend as unhealthy even though it has been deployed. So nginx is one of the critical concept we have. So after nginx, it will go towards your Node.js application. That is your backend, Node.js application. Okay. So why we are using,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, didn't get that
Hmm.
part. The
uh,
Nginx part.
okay. Okay. So nginx, what is nginx? Have you heard about this term? What is nginx? Have you heard about this term?
Nginx is a kind of a
Hmm.
load balancer. It has some inbuilt load balancer which takes the
Hmm.
request from client and it recalibrate the request and diverse
Exactly.
it to the other application server if there are
Application.
multiple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. I mean, you know that. So what I was trying to explain, my God, I'm very frustrated with when I'm waiting back, it's going towards this. 1 second, let me check where I have written, guys. See, I'm not doing anything, but still, 1 second. Bear with me. Mm-mm-mm. I got it, I think. Okay. So first start with the Nginx. Okay. Those who don't know, a little concept again. I mean, yeah. So Nginx is basically, we pronounce it as Nginx. Nginx. Okay. Is very fast web server. This is your web server, and reverse proxy mechanism. It follows the reverse proxy. Okay, the simpler definition is Nginx sits in front of your application. So whatever the application you have, it will sit over here. Okay, this he will sit over here. This is my Nginx. Okay, and handles all the, if we have the multiple clients, so it's gonna handle whatever the request it is coming to the nginx. So without nginx, if we have the application, so what will happen? We have the browser. browser will simply go towards your node.js port number 330, 3000. Okay. So if user will access, then it is good. Okay, it is very good, but it is not ideal for the production because we have unlimited number of users. Okay, if we use the nginx, then what will happen in this case? This browser, whatever the browser we have, browser will go to our nginx is hosted mostly on 80 slash 443, and this same will configured in the elb of the aws. Okay, then it will go call our node.js. Okay, node.js port 3000, and this is your application. Okay, if and then nginx will receive the request and forward it to the node.js. Okay, then this is the use of your nginx. The second is reverse proxy. Okay, inside this they are following the reverse proxy. So reverse proxy is says that nginx most common job. So assume like if some requests are coming like http slash my website webwide.com slash users. Okay, the flow will be, it will go to the browser, browser will go to nginx, and nginx will go to your node.js application slash spring boot application Django. So nginx hides your backend application from the public internet. Okay, so we call it as a reverse proxy application. Are you getting it?
Yes, yes,
So is it clear now?
yes. One more question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between web server and application server?
Yeah, I was about to come on this.
Okay.
You're saying application server?
Yes, a web server versus application server. Is it the same thing
Okay,
or it is a different? Yeah.
guys, one second. I'm getting one call. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, I think it's connected. So yeah, good question. So what is, I mean, this is assume a very good question from the Spring Boot. We are discussing this. So if I tell you web server, okay, simple. In very few word, I will say web server. Web server mainly serves your HTML part, your CSS part, your JS part, your images part, your static files, whatever the static files you have. Example is nginx. Okay, nginx is your web server. Apache http even is the http server is your web server. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing is your application server. So you know application server. If I write application server, so application server runs their business logic. Application server runs your business logic and generates dynamic responses. Dynamic responses. Okay. Example is your Apache Tomcat. This is that's why I was about to say about server and application server. So Apache Tomcat, Wildfly, okay, glassfish. Those are the application server. So real example, assume you have a, if you use a user server, you have a shop of any product. So if server, so if I'm the person, what I did, I opened your http, I hit a request like http dot shop dot com slash product slash 1 on 1. What has happened? Web server, the web server will say logo.png, style.css, static file. Application server is the backend, so it will go, it will get product 1 on 1, query the database, generate the response, and it will again redirect it to the browser. Okay, so browser, nginx, spring boot, tomcat, or database. So the flow for this will be, we have the browser, it will go to our nginx, it will go to our tomcat, spring boot, it will query our database, and wapas, it will give me the response. So you can just summarize this: nginx equals to web server, and tomcat spring app equals to application server. Application server. Clear, guys? Still have doubt? Clear now?
Yes, yes, it is clear. One more question.
Okay.
So, in application server, like you said, it is based on the language with support.
Yes, yes.
In our case, we are using Apache Tomcat, right?
Yeah, Yeah.
So let's say for my web application, I
Mm,
wanted to use Apache Tomcat. So I wrote some business logic, some Spring code or some
mm,
basic Java code, and I want to now deploy that business logic into the application server, which is Apache Tomcat, right? So
mm,
what I visualize, and I can be wrong, but what I think is when I deployed the code, I first build that code into some jar file or war file, and
okay.
when I deployed it into the Apache Tomcat, it will execute that war file, and it creates some java.exe
Mm.
process, which is
So this is
running
only a Spring file.
indefinitely.
Sorry, sorry. This is only a Spring file.
Yes, yes, a Spring file or whatever, right?
Okay, okay.
So it packaged into some file, right? It can be war file, or I don't know about
Mm,
the Spring file, but
mm-hmm,
it packaged into some file, and that file I'll deploy it into the application server, right? And
mm-hmm.
application server runs that file and create some process which is running indefinitely. So someone from the client side hit some button, it internally call API. That API
Mm-hmm.
that API gets executed through Nginx, and it distributed to its application server. Now, because in the application server, the java.exe process or some process is live, that API gets executed, something like that. What I'm visualizing,
Okay.
yeah, it is. I mean, that part is little confusion for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Again, I won't write anything, but I just explain you. Okay. In the traditional Java web app, where the Tomcat deployment flows is happening, because this will I mean it helps us like how we move from manual deployment towards the Spring Boot. Okay, so just assume the code which I have written. You remember, like hello servlet extend HTTP servlet code which I have written earlier. I don't know where it is, but I have written it. You remember? I think this or
Yes.
something. And here I have written something. So just assume like if you have written, it means like this servlet will handle our HTTP GET request. Historical, what we were using earlier as a we have a file name, and it was like web.xml. Okay, this used to be our file name. Okay, now what was happening inside this web.5 xml, we will add the dependency. If you want to host it manually, what it was doing, web app, then this servlet. Inside this servlet, we have the servlet name, like hello. Okay, then we have this servlet class, whatever your class name. Okay, and your servlet mapping. Once you give meaning, yeah, I think someone is waiting. Hmm. Once you give this process, so what will happen after you write the logic? You map it to web.xml. This web.xml is not now gonna tell you like, hey, we have slash hello API, that it will go to our hello servlet. Okay, now you have deployed over here. Okay, then what will happen at that time? We will package as a war is gonna package. Okay, so the assume the package name is my app.war file. War means web application archive. Web application archive, we call it as a war file. Okay, then inside my app.war, we have this web inf classes, web.xml, html, css. After that, what we will do, we will install our Tomcat. Okay, this Tomcat will start on 8080, yeah, Tomcat start on 8080 port. Then we will try to deploy our my app.war, and inside into Tomcat, so Tomcat, then web apps, then whatever the folder will have. So what happens internally, suppose a browser request is coming over here. If I say a browser request coming as http localhost 8080 slash my app slash hello. Okay, so the flow will be browser, you deployed Tomcat, then your URL mapping, then it ping your hello servlet, then it will do a do get method that we have written already, and after this do get method you will get a response. Okay, so this is the backend logic. So my app.war, web.xml, mapping from slash hello your API to hello servlet, then this will do a do get. After do get you will get a request and response. Is it clear now?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, so guys, just take a 5 minutes break, then we can start towards the logic. Okay, just take a 5 minutes break, we will return by 2:15. Okay, so we are back. Yeah. So guys, are you fine? Are you getting? Are you getting this Spring Boot Bootcamp interesting, or it's fine as a normal?
It is interesting.
Okay. I'm getting only one response. What about others? Okay, no response. It's fine. No problem. Okay. Okay. So let's go. So we were discussing about the servlet server and application server. Do not worry. I will just try to have some demo for the next week as an add-on. So first we'll try to complete the main agenda, and if time allows, so in the last we can pick some question. We'll try to close it. Do not worry. So if where we were, yeah. If I go to this now, it is very difficult for me to. Okay, I'll just use this pen. I'll go down, down, down. If I see, okay, greeting service is there right now. Huh. So here I'll just try to write. So I was just saying that inside this we have this manual application context, but inside your Spring Boot it will be auto configured, automatic. Okay, automatic. That's the first thing. Second thing is like a lot more of XML configurations. We need to write it, but here we'll have this application.yml. The third thing is, yeah. So the third thing was we need to deploy this war to external Tomcat that I showed you. Tomcat. Here we have this embedded Tomcat. Embedded Tomcat that is gonna run main. Okay, and here we'll need to add dependencies one by one in the servlet mapping servlet. That is very worst thing. Here we'll have the starters in the inside your form.xml, which you can choose it. If I'll quickly go towards your spring.io, this one start.spring.io, I'll paste this over the chat as well, and I'll show you one thing. It's very great. This. So then what will happen if you go to this explore? So this is your form.xml, and once you try to add it, so assume like inside your add dependency you have added web. So Spring Web you have added. If you want to host it, so you are, it is simply it is written as build web, including your RESTful application. You Spring using Spring MVC uses Apache Tomcat as a default. So earlier, if you try to explore it, so here you could see one dependency has been added as your Spring MVC test, Spring Web MVC. Okay. And if you want to assume add some of the SQL dependencies, so you will write the string data, MySQL SQL driver. So you will go to explore, you will see another dependency might have been added. So see here, dependency com.micro sales server MS SQL JDBC. So consecutively with the dependency, you can see from the spring.io, it's gonna add according to what your need. So group ID, artifact ID, packaging, yesterday I explained about you. I will, once we will try to create the project, I'll show you. Then in the explanation, so what we happen in the day one, we basically build the car manually with the Spring help. Now in the Spring Boot, so day one, just assume this is my normal Alto, which we have written. Second day that we are right now currently present day, we have the Tesla. Simple. So sit down, process start, it works. Spring Boot guesses what you need on what's on the class path. It will add to, and we will add Spring Boot starter web. Boot will try to see it. It will do the auto configurations of the Tomcat plus Jackson JSON plus Spring MVC. You didn't do any for that. Boot is gonna configure it. Okay. So let's go towards the annotation before we start. And I am literally cooked with this. I will change the setting from the next class. Okay, okay. Here. Perfect. So if I write for the Spring Boot application, the main thing is we need to write at the rate Spring Boot application. I'll show you once I've generated, do not worry. Spring Boot application. You know, If I write this Spring Boot application, it has three hidden annotations. Can anyone tell me? If I write a Spring Boot application, what are the three annotations?
So it is a configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan.
Okay, great. The first thing is your at the rate Spring Boot configuration. So it will say I am a config class. I am a config class. Okay, first thing. Second thing that it has is enable auto configuration. Enable auto configuration. So this enable auto configurations will say that Spring Boot, hello Spring Boot, auto wire everything. Do the auto wire everything that you detect in your file. Please do the auto wiring. I'm not gonna ask you to do everything. So that is the use of enable auto configuration. So auto detect what it will detect, auto wire, auto config, auto wire, auto config. I'm also remembering with the same logic. Auto configuration, it will do auto wiring. Simple. Spring Boot configuration, I am a configuration class. Component scan, then what it will do, scan this package and below for all the component that you are gonna get it. Simple. Okay, so if I will write like this, public, then we have class, and then employee management. If we are writing, creating today towards the employee management application, and then say if I write public static void main string argument, whatever the thing, and if I say Spring Boot application, I think the context was spring application dot run. So employee management application dot class comma arguments. Okay, so what will happen, it will run it. Okay, so Spring Boot does not replace the string, it sits on top. Always remember, Spring Boot sits on top of your Spring logic always, and it removes the boilerplate. Under the hood, it's still IOC, it's still dependency injection, it's still beans. It's just like it has added a layer where everything has been configured. Okay, so just have, if we have JavaScript, okay, and if I say node.js, okay, so this JavaScript is gonna take care of whatever the front end logic you have written. So once it passes to the node.js, it is a server JavaScript. So whatever the backend logic, it's gonna do, right? So this node.js is basically doing everything within the Java, but server side. Here the logic is somehow same. This is the Spring. We are earlier we were creating everything from ourselves. Now with the help of Spring Boot, it will be doing by using our annotation everywhere. So annotation is the real game inside our Spring Boot application. Till now it's clear, everyone, guys.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'll quickly go and I will tell you about the folder structure before we start. So the basically our folder structure would be, uh, I think I'll try to write if it is better. Mhm. First thing, it will be your form.xml. Okay, so this form.xml is nothing. It is for all the dependency. So those who are very new to this, you can see this is the overall architecture of any Spring Boot application that you will see. So then we will use this spring.yml. This spring.yml is nothing, all configurations. What configurations? All configuration, like DB, then your server, then your server port, not server, I'm so sorry, server port, then your AI keys. Whatever the AI keys we have, we will take care on this. We'll have some SRC source folder. Inside the SRC, we'll have main, then we'll have Java, then subfolder. Inside one, we have this controller. So controller is gonna control means this will be our rest endpoints. Okay, This will be our REST endpoint. I'll just write like this. Okay, dependency all config your REST endpoint. Okay, I'll copy this. The next one would be your your controller के बाद what will it will go towards your service class. So this service class is nothing. It is just your all your, can you even tell, business logic. Business logic. Okay. Then again we'll have controller to repository, repository repository. Guys, just give me 1 minute. I'm getting on call. Okay, guys. Then we'll have this repository. So what does this repository do? Anyone having idea? What is the use of this repository?
DB related classes, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. We have, so we can say database access. Okay, DB data class is database access. Then we'll have entity. That is very important because without entity, without model, you can't be able to start anything. So entity means JP, Java Persistence API, database tables as Java classes. Okay, as Java classes. And the last that is very common is your DTO, data transfer object. DTO, data transfer object. Okay, so this is basically API request slash your response shapes. Always remember response shapes. Okay. So if this is basically a flow of every application, what we are going to do, and if I need to create a layered architecture, if someone says please create a layered architecture, so what is first is gonna happen? First thing, your HTTP request. So this is your HTTP request. Once the HTTP request came, your next action, your point of contact will be your, I'll just draw two things here, then here, and one more here. Okay, then I'll draw like this. I'm very bad at drawing. I'm just trying first time. Again, I'll draw. Okay. So once the user request comes, then inside the HTTP, it will first go towards your controller. That is the first point. After controller, it will call his brother service. After service, it will go to our database. So database could be like MySQL, Postgres, anything. I mean MySQL we have H2 database, anything we can use it. Here, this service, right? So have I skipped anything, guys? Can you please check? Is this diagram correct? According to what I have written, is this diagram correct?
From service, it should go to repository first. Then it can go to the database.
Exactly. So from service, it will call his new brother. The new brother name will be your repository. Exactly. So this will call this repository, and this layer will further go repository. This will further go towards your database, and then it will call and it will do the operation. Okay. So controller is your receptionist. You can mark this controller is your main part. Okay. That is your receptionist. I I mark it this as receptionist. Okay, this is your controller. Okay, receptionist. Okay, service is your manager. You can assume like this, service is your manager that's gonna manage everything. This is your service class. A repository, I would say a filing cabinet. Filing cabinet. Is gonna file, is gonna give everything a munshi. I would say in Hindi we say munshi, so this is a repository. Okay, clear? Then a normal confusion for the new joiner who is going to do the main play is your dependencies. Okay, and this is literally a very concerning because most of the developers don't know what dependency we need to add it. Okay, so I will write the first dependency. The for yeah, why it is coming here? It should be here, right? So the first dependency will be Spring Boot Starter Web. Okay, the common dependency is your Spring Boot Starter Web. Why it is we are using it is basically for REST APIs plus Tomcat. Okay, always remember REST API plus Tomcat. Second thing is your Spring Boot, then your Spring hyphen boot hyphen what is the name starter STA starter data JPA Java Persistence API. So I already explained you the use of JPA is for the database ORM. And the new terms are coming, right? ORM, that is object relational mapping. How in the database the things are working. So due to this ORM, in memory DB, like it is only for the local. So in memory database for today, tomorrow it's gonna delete it. So for local testing where everything is down, you want to test something, you can use this H2 database. Validation, Spring Boot validation, @ not null. If I want my mail ID to be primary, so it should not be null. Then add the email annotation I can add to etc. So basically it is for the validation. So this validation has two parts. Okay, I'll tell you according to that. Like if you add this Spring Boot starter validation, we have multiple things like @digit, @not null, @null, everything. And it is coming from two import. The first one is normal Java, and second one is from the Jakarta. So I'll tell you how from this one part from to Jakarta everything is going. Okay, just bear with me. Then we have this new word that is Spring AI, Open AI, Spring Boot Starter. Okay, Spring Boot Starter, and then it is basically for the LLM that we are gonna use. So Groq compatible. So these are the few things that you need to take care once you are starting. Okay, these are the dependencies. I will write like this. These are the dependencies, guys. Okay, dependencies. Someone is writing, it's fine. If not, I'll share it this doc. But main thing is whatever I'm trying to explain, just listen carefully. Dependencies. Okay. Till now it's clear, guys. Everyone. Everyone. Okay. Perfect. So now the topic 4 is very interesting. Okay, the topic 4 is again some folks have doubts on why we are using XML or YML. Okay, let's have the I mean not a comparison. We'll see about these topics. Okay, so the topic and your detail I'll further classify like this. Topic is basically what is dot application dot properties. Okay, what is application dot properties or what is dot YML file. So it's basically YML. Okay, YML is your hierarchical. So everything I want to have in a tree shape like this, 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 this. I will use hierarchical. Cleaner for it is very good for nesting configuration. Someone will ask why are we using YML? You will say for the nesting configurations where reading is very easy. Okay, dot properties are also good, but it is basically like server dot port and then whatever the things we are going to get. So somehow it is not good for the larger value. So for the larger value, recommendation is YML. It is superb. It is very fast. Okay. So inside the topic, if I'll tell you about the profiles, @profiles is also an annotation. So profiles is basically detail application hyphen dev dot YML. Okay. Application hyphen prod.yml. So basically, once you give those type of annotations, we'll have a main annotation. Okay, that is application.yml. So once in the local, it will pick dev. Once in the production, it will pick prod. So we will see in week 2 or week 3, according to the once we will create one production level application, you will see it. Again, the next term as a environment variables. So you know the environment variables means we have this dollar, we have this Groq. So I'll show you how we can embed the Groq. So Groq API underscore key. So this is my environment variable. So these are basically secrets. So right now this Groq we will configure inside the terminal. Okay, but in production, once this same application format will go to the production. So what will happen inside this production? We have another layer. Okay, and this we call it as your where is this? Yeah, we call it as a again AWS. Okay, so we'll have 5 to 6 different commands. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So assume like this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, something like this you will see inside the production, and this is nothing. We call it as a the term for these all we call it as a secret manager. SECRET, secret manager. So what will happen? A DevOps person will come. Okay, I'm telling from the post production. A DevOps person will come, and according to this slash dollar Groq, so it will see Groq API underscore key. So what it will do? It will assign some of the value. So in production, you don't need to again go to your application, do some manual changes. No, everything will done in the production. Okay, so that's the beauty of YML that we configured. Clear everyone this time? Application YML, why are we using it? Okay, so this we actually use it. Okay, give me 1 minute. You know, 2 hours speaking is literally a very tough job. Okay, but my like we have completed 2 hour, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Inside this 1 hour 40 minutes, everything is clear. Still, you have doubt. Please tell of whom you have like 12 folks or 11 folks have joined. Is it clear? I need more than 5 thumbs up. 1, oh, 2, 3, Tanisha. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Today we were planning to start with our employee management system, but you know these topics are very important. It's not like I'll just try to show you one application and it's all done. No, not like that. I just want everything to get clear. Okay. So for your own ease, do not worry. I'll open this my Visual Studio Code and what we can do right now is I'll show you. Okay, how we can create it. Okay. So what I will do. Um, mm, for your own ease, what I am thinking, guys, is we'll try to create one employee management first. Your things that are required. Okay, so parallelly you can also do it. Okay, so if I give like group, so my group ID, right? So I can give my group ID like in dot port kiddos, and you know the same thing you can ask your this as well, chat as well, or AI as well. So I'll just show you employee management, and it can also generate, but for your own ease, I'm just developing over here. Okay, so you can I mean you can generate it from, or you can ask AI to do it. It's totally fine. Okay, then we can just give this name as what we can do the package name, right? Okay, we can just make change later. So in employee management, and do not worry guys if we can't able to complete it today, so next class we can extend it. Okay, it's just like if one application we are building, it should be production ready and you can able to do it by yourself is the main agenda for me. Okay, so whatever the people is saying, I respect that, but for my own perspective I'll just try to complete so that you will get it simple. That's my main motive. Web, that's the for dependency. Then you can do JPA. Okay, that's just a second thing. Then you can do H2 database. So you can say H2 database, H2 database. Then we have the validation, right? Validation. Bean validation, yes, input IO. Okay. Then we have AI related things. So what we can do, OpenAI. If we write OpenAI, yeah, I think this should work. OpenAI should work. And the last one is test. So it's fine. It's totally up to you. So let it be as of now. Test will be there. So let's explore it if we haven't missed anything. So guys, see, project is fine. This is inside the XML configuration. Parent is your org spring framework, that is fine. This is your parent. Then lookup from repository is very good. And if I go down, then group id is your end.code kiddos, fine. Artifact is employee management. Version is 0.0.10 snapshot. Okay, name description we can add that later. If I go down, we'll have the spring boot. Okay, spring boot starter web is not coming enough. I think web, yeah, I think web is not there. No, let me see. I think it's there. Web MNC is there, but web was not there. Let me see why it is not coming. Starter web. Yeah, web. I think it's not added as well. ठीक है, अभी के लिए we'll try to generate like this. Okay. So once you generate it, it will like employee management dot zip file. Okay. Second thing, what you can do, you can ask your project as well. So let me try. I'm also doing the first thing. So if I say this, okay, I copy this, and now if I go to Visual Studio Code, okay, then this and the new chat you can do anywhere. Yesterday I showed you. Let me close all the file. So the instruction that you can give here is, hi, I want to create a new Spring Boot application. Do not club this with Spring. So just see what prompt I am trying to write over here. Spring code demo. It will be inside the CK underscore Spring Boot. The Spring Boot. You do not write everything / AI with student. I think no. This is my folder. AI underscore students. Content is attached. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have pasted the image. Is it clear? First ask, is it clear? And if you give the prompt, are you following up with my logic, guys? Are you following up with my logic? Are you getting with whatever I'm trying to write? So we are leveraging AI, right? We are just trying to leveraging AI. Either you can write Spring Initializer or you can give the content as well. And everything is fine. Allowing in this session. So it is asking now, hey, where you want to create it. So I'll say inside this Spring Boot, select an empty workspace. So inside this, yeah. See. So it is now. It will take some time. I cannot create the view new because the validation is not open in VS Code. Please open an empty folder where you would like the new project to be created. Okay. What we can do right now? Can you create inside? Can I copy this? Okay, let me open this. Open in Explorer. So reveal in Finder. I quickly go towards the Finder and get info. This get info will have this option inside desktop, inside this. Okay, let's see again. Driving, so it is saying that we are driving a hamstring. So it's again asking, clarifying, yes, select. Now let's see. Okay, I apologize, I'm still unable to create a new Spring Boot application. The tool I'm using requires an empty workspace folder to be open in VS Code before it can create a new project. Okay, so what I can do, I'll just quickly delete this. Okay, and then I'll ask again. Okay, I'll share you the code. These code I have it. Do not worry. Okay, disable. Now try again. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I think it's done. I understand you want to create this. However, the create new workspace to require the empty folder to open the VS Code to scan folder new page the directory space already contain another file. Please create and open a new empty folder name employee management inside this. Can't you do? If I ask can't you do, then you need to create you need to create a new empty directory. For example, this AI employee management, and then open that specific empty directory in VS Code as your workspace. Once that's done, I can proceed with creating a Spring Boot application. So what is saying inside this create this slash employee management. Okay, let me create here new folder employee management. This is little bit time consuming, but yeah, once it is done, first time it will have some issue, but from next time it is good. Try now. Try now. Hmm. So what I can give desktop students employee management. Yeah. Okay. See now employee management is there. I think it has yes. Continue with the setup. So I think it is continuing with the setup. Continue with the new workspace. Till now it is fine, guys. Are you following with the same logic? I mean, it's totally up to you. I don't want my workspace to get created by myself, so I can ask this. So first time it will little bit take some time, but next time it will be easy. Okay, try again. What is the issue now? Generative language APIs. I think the limit has been reached. Okay, no worries. I'll do the same. I'll copy now to my next chat. Let's see. I think see it has been created and everything is done. I think see it is generating now. So I have two LLMs, three LLMs, which I am using it, and it is now creating the form and all with generating. So let's wait for 2 more minutes. It will try to do it. Or why to waste time? 1 second. Give me a moment. I'll stop the screen sharing. Give me a moment. I mean, should not be a case. I should go right like this. Do not save. Stop this file. Let's give me a moment. The same thing which I have downloaded. I'll just try to open it. Okay, I don't want to waste time. 1 minute just. Uh, so two ways you can do. First thing, like either you can create this, or the same thing you can just try to insert it. Your LLM will smart enough, and he can do it. Okay, so do not worry on that. I'll quickly share my screen once again, and we will start now with some of the logic written. Okay, so yeah, I hope so. My screen is visible to all. Can you please quickly confirm? Okay. So right now, this is the employment management system that we have. So we have this form.xml that we were discussing earlier. Okay. Let it be. This is the template ready application. Inside the SRC, we have the main folder. So this main has this Java, which is saying that employee management system. Okay. Now inside this, what we can do, we'll just try to open this, and you can see we have this application. So in order to test it, let's try to run first, like whether my Spring Boot application is working or not. Okay, it will first time it will take some time. So Spring Boot application, I think it should work. So it is just trying to import some of the Maven project. Okay, just 2 to 3 more minutes. Hmm. So it has started building actually. Okay, so basically the setup again I have showed you this week again, because for next class I'll have the setup ready, so I won't invest much time on that. It's just like I'll show you the project structure ready, and then we'll try to do the implementation from the next class. Okay. Okay, so I think this Spring Boot application is up. We have some errors, so we will sort it out. Do not worry on that part. And the error is saying, what is the error actually? Application run failed, rerun, starting application, rerun your application. Okay, so if I say Control Shift P, Command Shift P, if I say reload window, so let's see. Okay, and if I should have a button for that, so let me rerun this again. So what I'm trying to do for this class, at least, like we'll have some of the controllers. So architecture I will tell you in the next class, but yes, we'll just try to see how we can write the our form.xml is fine. Your application.yml file, that is very important. Okay, this yml file. 1 second. Yes. So can anyone tell me where I can write my application.yml file? Anyone? So I have this application.properties. Okay. Instead of this, what I'll do, I'll just close this. I will just remove this. Okay. Delete. So my application.file name is empty. I'll quickly go resources, new file, and this is one of the important file which we will work only for today. Okay, application.yml. So inside the application.yml, I'll say my server. So my server, and it should be like port number is 80. Then I need to specify the Spring, and the Spring is your application. So this application, then you do the same name, like application is my his name is my application. So I'll just remove this and I'll say AI. So right now you can see my LLM, my active LLM is just helping me. I'm just trying to tell what is my requirement. So this is the, I would say, a best use of the LLM. You can just see. So URL is there, JDBC. So right now, again, if I need to make some change, I'll say JDBC colon H2 colon MEM. Then I would say EMSDB. Then we'll have the driver class. So driver hyphen class hyphen name org.h2 driver. So it is gonna pick SA, and password is abhi ke liye I'm not going to give any password. Then I need to do the H2 configuration. So H2 will start from this. So H2, then it's H2. After that, I'll say console enabled, console enabled 2, and then the path. So if I need to specify the path, so the path will be /h2 console. Great, everything is done. Then if I have the JPA, the JPA will have the Hibernate with DDL auto. What is the use of DDL? Can anyone tell what is the use of DDL? What is the use of DDL? Anyone? DDL?
uh, uh, where we define, so DDL can be say like we define create query, alter query, some some kind of query in
Hmm.
that class. That's what I.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So again, a small 2 minutes logic work on DDL auto. So if you don't give this DDL auto equals to update, okay. So the use of this it is a Hibernate or Spring Boot setting that controls. So like what should happen to your database schema, table, column, constant when the application starts, okay. So why you need it? So assume if you have a class where you are saying @ID private long ID. So Hibernate can generate the SQL table from this class, right? So if I say at the rate entity, okay, and after that I say public class user, this user assume I has the ID, @ID has private long ID, okay, private long ID. Then Hibernate can generate the ID automatically, like ID big int something. So that's why we need to give this DDL auto. Tells Hibernate to what to do with that table. Simple. Tell Hibernate what to do with that table. This is the main logic. Okay. Show SQL. Just I'll take 5 more minutes, then we can close it. Do not worry. DDL हो गया. Then we have this show SQL true. And now inside the properties, we are using the Hibernate where I'm telling that the format of SQL will be true. Okay. Now the main part comes, AI. So what AI I'm using? OpenAI I'm using. But right now I'm using the OpenAI API key. So instead of your Open API key, I'll say dollar. I'll fetch some value from this Open API key. Okay. So instead of this OpenAI, I'm using the Groq. So I'll say Groq underscore. Underscore key. Okay. Groq API key. Then I need to specify our base URL, right? So I'll say base URL. So my base URL will be https colon hyphen hyphen API dot groq GROQ. I'll share this with all. Do not worry. Slash hyphen OpenAI https API dot groq API dot groq dot com API dot groq slash OpenAI. I think it's correct. Yeah. Then we have this chat. Inside this chat, we can have the options. So options, then options, then we can just decide like which model I want to use. So model, and this is one of the confusing parts. So just focus on the model. Model it support as of now is Llama. No, not like this. Llama hyphen 3.3 hyphen 70B, and then it should be versatile VER versatile. Yes, I think it's done. Okay, this is purely our application.yml. Okay, then if I say test my, if I say my command like test this file, if it has some error or not. Okay, it might be there is some Python that has some lint issue, right? So here also we have some identification issue, so it is just checking it. So I think this LLM is down, so I'll say @application.yml, please check the error. The provided appears to be configuration file. After giving, I notice that there are the password, the API key in the file. That's fine. The base URL in the open is set to be HTTP, which might not be initialized. So I think it's fine, right? We have used this. I think we have used it, right? OpenAI, then inside this OpenAI, we have the API key, we have the base URL, and we have the chat. Yes, chat has the option. So I think everything is correct. Okay, it is suggesting some changes, right? Let me see. Base URL is also fine. https://api.groq.com/OpenAI. I think, guys, it's fine. It has some issue. It's fine. Okay, so this is the application.yml which I'm expecting you as of now to create it. From the next class, we'll try to build it because mostly we spend time on the completing the theory part. Okay, so it's very easy. We have some of the controller, 2 to 3 AI controller which try to create, and the repository. Okay, so do not worry. My main focus is not to complete the thing. It's just like whatever we end, at that end should be happy. Okay, so I think it's fine. Can we stop the session now? Okay. Okay, fine. So just please do practice. Okay, do not leave anything. Just do practice from next class. Literally all the Spring Boots major thing we have covered, like theories and all. Once we start with application, there might be face little theory, not too much. So like servlet server, these things, basic things should be clear. Like why are we using .yml, where we will expose it. So everything, this thing at least should be clear for you. Okay, so I'll stop the recording.